Okay, guys, we made it. Happy Friday. Happy morning. We made it to 117 of this podcast with Al from Lomna Acres, Ben from Holler Homestead, and myself, Jason from Sow the Land. And we're just hanging out at the shop and talking about our exciting weeks on the homestead. What's up, fellas?
Nice and warm hair.
It's
Yeah.
been it's been a little bit warmer past couple days, but it's kind of sprinkling right now and it feels real nice outside.
Yep. Morning's been maybe high 50s. I'm starting to see leaves falling.
hmm
Yep.
It's happening.
There's this one tree that's out in our pasture. I can see it. It's like one of our bigger trees. I can see it through my kitchen window, and that's always the first tree to start changing leaves. So it's already changing. So
We're already changing up here.
first frost already?
No frost yet. Maybe Friday. I see 35 for a low. But we're in the
Wow.
upper 70s. There's a couple of 60s and then 80s this week.
Yeah, we got 80s. I think we're in the 80s now.
All of our
Yeah,
maple trees are starting to turn.
it was crazy.
Yep.
Traveling this weekend, the further north we got, the more colors were showing. It was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, those fall colors, man.
I think it'll be I think it'll be a dull year for us color wise. It won't be very vibrant. It'll be like pastel because it's been so dry. I know that really affects the colors of the foliage.
If it's more wetter.
Yeah, if it's dry like this, it's a more of a dull pastel kind of color for the foliage, and then if it's more of a wet, not it's not say like wetter year, like real wet, but if you had like an average rainfall there, it's more of a brighter color. And then like now, if say because it's super dry, once the leaves start changing, if we get a rain, they'll just fall right to the ground, and it won't last.
Yeah.
We've had a couple years like that.
Yep.
Fall color starts coming on, and then you have a big rainstorm, and no more fall color.
Yep.
Yeah, or wind.
Kind of like last year. Yeah, the color had just started, and then that stupid hurricane hit,
Right.
and there's no leaves left. There's no trees either.
Is this the anniversary of the hurricane?
Almost. It'll be
Almost.
next week.
Yeah. Don't look like there's a hurricane in sight. So
Would now be a bad time to tell you there's a tropical disturbance out in the ocean.
dang
We have
it. I
we
spoke
still
too
have no
soon.
rain in the forecast for the next 10 days.
We've got a little bit of rain coming, I think, but it's been pretty dry here.
Jason, I don't know if you can see that. Tropical disturbance.
Oh man, I spoke too soon.
That's
Uh-oh.
day two, 50%, day seven, 90. That's a high percent of turning into a hurricane. Just saying.
Gotta get your roof
Saying.
on before the rain comes.
Be
Oh, it's
prepared.
gotta finish the roof.
Yeah, no, it's gonna rain.
You got your new rain collection all up, Jason?
Yeah, well, part of it,
Part of it.
not
Better get
totally.
it finished.
Better put that thing on fast
Yeah,
track.
yeah. So who wants to go first? Talk about their week.
I want to hear about your new livestock.
All right. I had a pretty exciting week this week, actually. For a minute there, it was getting pretty routine. Eh, Too routine. It's too
Two.
quiet around here. So let's see. So I've been looking for ever since our sheep fiasco last year. We already had the two beefy boys, so I've been looking for a grass-eating animal. And I joke around that there's a cow shortage, but it's really I'm thinking maybe I can't afford cows. They're just so darn expensive. So sheep it is. Plus I like lamb. It's good meat. So I've been spreading the word out, like, hey, who has cows, who has sheep, and see who contacts me, and what kind of connections we can make. But so we had a friend of ours, Mike. Shout out to Mike. I know he watches the podcast, or listens. He raises sheep. He's been doing it for a number of years, and I've been talking to him off and on for the last few years about sheep. And I almost bought some one time from him, and he didn't have any, and just kind of off and on. And finally, he's like, I think I might have this year. I might have sheep for you. So I was like, great. I was gonna get these other two sheep from somebody else. They were the wool sheep like I had last time, different breed, but they were still woolies. And I don't know, I didn't feel at first I was like, I mean, that was my only option. I was like, oh, well, this is it. If this is it, then this is it. Then this is all I have. I was like, I would really want to get something. So I was gonna get those too, and then at the last minute, I backed out on it. I just didn't feel comfortable with it, and we really didn't want to do wool sheep again, being our bad experience with them last time. So that one we decided not to do it. And then after that, that's when I Mike contacted me. He says, I might have sheep for you. And he has hair sheep. So they're totally opposite. But prior to picking them up, I have a livestock trailer on my new old livestock trailer that I have now. And I had to get that thing on a ready for a road trip. And he's not that far away, but just ready to roll. Fill up the tires, make sure the tires aren't flat, and uh, it definitely like they might as well have been flat because I don't think anybody has filled these up with air at all. I even stripped my breaker in my house because I was filling up these tires and I have like a little compressor and it tripped the breaker because I was just like I felt like I was all day trying to fill up these tires. So I did that and I had to weld something on there on the door because there was some duct tape on the corner, like wrapped. Part of the door was wrapped in duct tape, and I unraveled the duct tape in this like pieces of metal. They look like they got hit or something. They bent out. So I was like, man, I totally see that. When I close that door, I totally see some animal getting caught up in this because it was like sticking out. I mean, if you're walking by, I could probably like cut my shin or my ankle or something or trip on it. So I welded it up, which wasn't a huge deal and nothing sticking out. So that was me just preparing for these sheep and knowing that I had a couple options. I was going to either put them in a chicken tractor at first when I get them, or I have that new shelter that I made and I put them in there. So still wasn't sure what to do. So, but I knew I needed to put gutters on that shelter. Just in case I were to put them in there, I just didn't want it to rain, and because all that rain just pretty much goes back into that shelter if it rains pretty good. So had to put gutters on that thing, so which I did. I still need to do a proper setup of putting them in barrels or some kind of IBC tote, which I'm going to eventually do that. Um, but at least the gutter's on and it kind of washes the rain away from the shelter. So livestock trailer was ready to go. That shelter was ready. We still had minerals from the last sheep that we had. So pretty much we had everything. The next day we went to Mike's and we picked out our sheep. We got 6 sheep from him, which are 3 wethers, which are castrated rams, and 3 ewes. And then one of the ewes, I may try to breed all 3 of them, but one of the ewes was 3 years old already, and she's already had babies, which we're gonna at least try to breed her again. And then the rest, all the other ones are they were born in the spring. So she's kind of like the leader, I would say. You can kind of tell like they look up to her and she's also the most friendly one. And we picked them up one by one and put them in that trailer. And because my only experience with sheep was last year when those wool sheep that I had. And so I really couldn't compare as far as mannerisms, how sheep are. I pretty much thought, well, all sheep are like that. But comparing those sheep with these sheep, they are totally different. Those sheep that we had last year, they were a lot smaller and they were light. Like the rain could pick them up. Like there was you could pick them up so easily. They felt like a baby doll, like a baby doll sheep. But these other ones, when we were picking them up, I was like, I wasn't expecting them to be, they were kind of heavy. I mean, I don't know. I would say they're like 40, 50 pounds maybe. And especially that 3-year-old that we picked up, she was the biggest one. It took both of us to pick her up, but the rest, we were able to pick up. They were just heavier than what we had thought. Even I think Mike thought. But one by one, we just picked them up, and put them in there. It was pretty easy to do to pick them all up and do that. So then we brought them home, and I was gonna put them in a chicken tractor at first, and then I thought, well, I have this structure. Like I didn't want to put them in a chicken tractor because I would have to put them in multiple chicken tractors, probably like 2 each in a chicken tractor, and then move them around. Like, geez, how often would I have to move them around? Probably like all day long I'll be moving them. And then moving them in tall grasses would be probably a pain. And so I had this structure. So I was like, let's just put them in the structure. And so Mike came with us. So I was like, hey, he offered to come, and I was like, yeah, that would be great. Like, just maybe you could look at my setup and seeing if he thinks it's cool or not. So what she did, I got the Mike approval, and we put him in that structure, and we had him in there. I was a nervous wreck, honestly. I was like, man, just the bad experience that we had. Had that PTSD of like, I got to keep these sheep alive. Yeah, we put them in there. They were in there for one, no, 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. We had them in there for 2 days, and I gave them hay and I scythed up some grass for them, and they devoured that like nothing. So just kept them in there, had minerals in there for them, water and all that stuff, and they seem to be fine. I mean, comparing to the other last sheep we had, they're just a lot more calmer, more quiet, more chill. I don't think I ever heard them like say anything. Like,
They can talk.
well, yeah. Hey, kid, what are you doing, kid?
Those are some special sheep if they figure that out. Man, Mike's got quite a training program.
Yeah, yeah. They're in the corner smoking. Like, hey, kid. What are you doing? But I haven't heard them do anything. I mean, the other ones that we had, man, they were like, I feel like they were screaming all day, and they were always super afraid of me. And these ones are just so they just seem more relaxed.
A
And
lot more
even
handled.
yeah, like the 3-year-old one, she would just come up to me. The other ones seemed a little bit like, who's this guy? But it also seemed like they were pretty much just copying her move, like following her, like because she's the leader. So for those 2 days, throughout the whole day, I was just going in there. I was giving them hay. I was giving them grass, giving them alfalfa pellets, just treats, just sitting in there. And by the end of the second day, I felt like they were getting used to me pretty good, like more so than what they were even just the day before. Because I was debating too. I wasn't sure, like, should I let them out? Should I keep them in here for a week, a month? I don't know. I just didn't want to let them out and then they would just like take off. I picture them jumping over the fence. So long, sucker. Also the good thing, Mike trained these sheep to two wires, two hot wires.
Nice.
And he doesn't use netting. I think he uses netting sometimes, but for the most part, he just uses the two wires. So, I set up the two wires just like how he had it, and I just put it off the shelter. And on the third day, which was just this morning, I let them out, and right away they went out right away as soon as I opened the door, and they just started eating. And you could tell they were kind of going up to the two wires. But as soon as they kind of saw it, they would just back away. Well, I didn't notice any of them actually hitting it, but it didn't seem like they were testing it either. They were just, as soon as they saw it, they would just stay away from it. I mean, so far so good. I mean, they were pretty much grazing all day, and right before this podcast, I got their treats, put it in a bucket, shook it, and they followed me around and followed me right back into that shelter, and I put them away at night. I shut the door. It was super easy. I'm gonna probably put them away at night, maybe just this week. As long as they're in this kind of area, as long as they're in here, I'm gonna probably just put them away just to, I don't know, just to be safe. I don't think I'm, I don't know, I don't think I'm scared of like any predators. I've never noticed any predators around here like that, like big predators, like coyotes and stuff. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never noticed them. I've never really heard them. I guess I'm more afraid of them just getting maybe getting scared of some noise and just, I mean, there's nowhere for them to go because we're all fenced in. But at least like take off, like past the two wires. I guess that's what I'm afraid of. But I don't know. So far, so good. Yeah, they're very easy, and they seem to be following me already with treats, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Now these are gonna, my thought is I got like a couple options. The three weathers, I was gonna butcher those for meat and then keep the ewes and then bring another ram in from somewhere, from someone, however, whether borrow a ram or buy a ram, I don't know, and then breed those three. Or if I were to have a ram here, then maybe keep one of the weathers as like a buddy for them and then keep them separated and then just butcher like the two rams or weathers. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yeah, just kind of seeing how it goes, I guess.
Sounds like you got to source yourself a ram.
Yeah.
I think I know a guy.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's the ultimate goal is to breed them. And you always have that going. I think another thing Mike has trained these sheep to be more parasite resistant, which is another thing, you know, to worry about. So, which is a plus too. And I think they're more parasite resistant than the woolly sheep that we had for sure.
What breed or breeds are they?
They're Katahdin. They're a mixture of Katahdin, St. Croix, and Barbados.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he don't feed them grain. He's never fed them grain. So I don't intend on
Good.
feeding these sheep grain at all either. I think that's one thing about the woolies is they're also a milk breed. So I think people usually feed them grain because they do produce milk. But these guys, we're not gonna milk them. So we're not gonna feed them grain either. That's my goal of getting these sheep is, I
Got
don't
all
want
that grass. Might as well put it to good use.
yeah, I don't want to buy grain and, all that grass and I mean, who knows? I mean, Mike seems he might I think he mentioned I might not even have to buy hay this year. If I can rotate them, we might have enough grass to just last. I don't know. We'll see, but that would be great.
That'd be
So,
kind of cool.
yeah, but so far so good. I mean, I have a security camera on them, my baby monitor. So I'm like, on that first night, I was in bed like this. How are my sheep doing?
Waking up at 2 a.m. checking in on them.
Yeah.
I
It,
mean,
it, there's
you got priors with sheep dying in the middle of the night, so I don't blame you.
no, I know. I'm like high alert, man. I'm like, oh,
PTSD.
they see something. Yeah. Even
Mm.
all day today, I had the camera on them. I was in the house editing video and I gotta check my sheep. Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking. Yeah, so far so good. And yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty easy going, which is crazy. Yeah. It's pretty awesome though, seeing them eat the grass and they're here and we're watching them do that. It's pretty neat. I
So
just
lamb butchering workshops next year.
yeah, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think probably, I think some of them we might butcher in like 6 months. No, not, yeah, maybe 6 months,
Yep.
maybe. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all this week. I mean, just taking care of those sheep and yeah.
Now, if the 3-year-old's pregnant, when does he think she's due?
Yeah, she might be pregnant because he was saying that there's a 50-50 chance that she might be pregnant already. Because there was a ram in there with them with his sheep all year. So he was saying in maybe 3 months she would be due. He wasn't totally sure, but he's just kind of guessing. I don't know, I guess we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
You really be hooked after that.
Yeah.
Lamb born on your property. Oh, they're so cute when they're little.
Yeah. Yeah, they're neat, man. They're so calm and like when you're just watching them eat the grass, they're just like it. I don't know, it calms you. It's like relaxing. You just want to like sit out there and just watch them, just make some fun. But so yeah, that's the plan for them. I mean, some people were like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna get cows," watching the videos and the comments and stuff, and I'm like, "Well, I would have, but sheep are more readily available, it seems.
Yep.
People have more sheep than the cows, it seems like." Or they're not as expensive. I'll take it. So, other than that, yeah, that's about it. So what's up, Ben? How's your trip?
It was good. It was good to get away for a little bit. It was it's nice to get on the road. We haven't gone anywhere in a couple years, like not substantially. Uh it felt good. felt really good getting on the road and that wanderlust we used to have when we were traveling. In a weird way, we still kind of have that. So it was nice. I know that when we were on the road trip, we saw like the far northwest corner of Virginia, and then I think we saw the far southeast corner of West Virginia, not Virginia. Um, and so I don't feel like I ever gave West Virginia a fair shake. We got to see West Virginia, a good portion of it. So this weekend we went up to the Homesteading-ish conference in West Virginia. Um, it was pretty cool. It was a really big venue. It was in a great big church, and honestly, for like hosting events, that is like the perfect location. It's got the main sanctuary, auditorium thing, and then classrooms for all the more hands-on type stuff.
Was it all inside?
Oh yeah, it was all inside. I think the only thing they didn't have inside was the sawmills those were out there on the grass. Um, no chicken butchering demonstrations, but I I don't know. Like I still don't know how I feel. Like, is that the right thing to do? Like it's a homestead conference at a church, like at a church using the building, using the grounds. So is it kind of weird to do chicken butchering on church grounds? Like I don't know how I feel about that. And they said they're like, like this is the second year we're doing it. I don't think it's time to spill chicken blood at church just yet. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
Got to
That's
ease into that.
gotta ease it. Like it just seemed a little weird to like they had I think it's I forget, it's either a company or the NRCS. It's one of those organizations. Um, you can rent this chicken butchering trailer. Pretty cool setup. I would say the chicken plucker and the chicken scalder. The scalder had these paddles in it, and so
Oh yeah.
you put the chickens in, then it just stirs them in the hot water. Like that would have been pretty cool. It'd be cool to see in action. Uh, but yeah, there was some cool stuff. I actually helped set up one of the sawmills. I see him out there setting up. When was that? Friday afternoon? I think it was day one. Day one was Friday, and I looked out one of the windows at one point, and I see these guys, and they've got like bits and pieces of this Norwood sawmill, and they're like they haven't moved in hours, and it's like I wonder if they need help. So I walked down there and kind of start. I'm trying not to get in the middle of these guys' business, and I could see they're just like sweaty and frustrated. And so I kind of start offering solutions, and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to help? Jump right in." So I helped. I jumped in there and helped get the thing up and running, which was kind of fun. Uh, I don't know. Uh, I got to run that Norwood a little bit, and I think it's more up my alley. You can extend the bed as many times as you want. You just keep buying bed extensions.
Is that a
Like,
portable one?
oh yeah, they had a couple. I guess Norwood has it's a import version. So it's from China, but it's made by them. I think it's called the OS model. So overseas is what it stands for. They had one and the whole head is like a dolly. And so you just tilt it back and it's got its own wheels and you can wheel the whole head, the cutting head around. So if you need to move the thing, the bed breaks down into like 5 foot sections. And so the way it like quick latches together, it centers itself. And so, say you buy like 5 or 6 of these 5 foot sections, and then you got this little head. You could you could wheel this little head around, carry all your sections, set up. You could bring the sawmill to the lumber, and
Yeah.
then because it sits flat on the ground, you just need a flat spot. I thought it was pretty cool. It was like I think it was an 18-inch sawmill, and for a lot of logs around here, that would pretty much get everything. And it was $1,800 for the sawmill. And it was just like,
Wow.
man, like
Yeah.
I almost spent that on a chainsaw so I could do chainsaw milling. Like, I don't
That's
know.
true. That's true. Yeah.
For that price point, hmm, that's hard to argue with.
Heck
Maybe I
yeah.
maybe I need to reach out to Norwood and be like, hey, about a couple videos.
I was helping you guys that one time.
Now, was it their reps there that you were working with, or?
It was a local I guess local reps. It was a
Yeah.
local equipment company that they are dealers for Norwood. I guess Troy. Troy was the guy putting it on. Troy, he has a YouTube channel called Red Tool House. He also has a podcast called the Pastured Pig Podcast. Um, he did an amazing job with this event. Like, dude is cool as a cucumber under pressure. Like, he came out at one point when we were messing with that sawmill,
He seems
and
like he seems pretty thorough guy, like pretty detailed.
he's very detailed.
Yeah.
Like, I watched him put out some fires. Something would be wrong, someone would be upset or something. He'd go deal with it and then go right back to business. And it was just like, man, that's one of the guys I want on my team if the world ends. Like, that guy's cool in a busy situation. That guy was the MC. Uh, he was also a speaker. He was also a demonstrator. Like, he did it all. Like, he did everything, and he did it well. Like, I thought he did great. I went to one of his talks Saturday. He was talking about just raising pigs, and I thought it was a really good talk. So yeah, it was a cool event. Now I will say, I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday because Mike, the fit farmer, was there on Friday. He was only there for one day. I come walking up, and Mike is sitting talking to this lady, and she's wearing a Homestead Shop Talk t-shirt. He's like,
Nice.
"Yeah, that's right."
The
That was the
first
only one.
one.
That was the only one I've seen. And
Yeah.
she was like, "Hey, look."
What?
Yeah, that's right. So they are out in the wild.
That's
They
awesome.
exist. I thought it was cool. That weird thing, like your brain does a weird double take. It's like, wait a minute, I recognize that logo. Oh, hey, that's our logo.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
So yeah,
It-
it was fun. I spoke 3 times, which is about 2 times more than I have words for. Um, like, I had a pile of notes. Like, I had 9 pages of notes for my last talk, and I burned through them in half an hour, and I still had half an hour that I had to fill, and it was just like, what the heck?
hmm
Like,
yeah.
I had 9 pages of notes, and I burned through all of them, and I'm just like, I looked up at the clock when I flipped the page to my last note, and it was like, oh no.
I almost like it when people interrupt and ask questions
Yeah.
during the talk. Like I feel like it keeps it like last longer, maybe. I don't know.
Now, like, okay, my talks, the first one was sustainability on the farm. The second one was building a pantry. And then the last one was sacrifices of the homestead. Well, the one I did Saturday morning on building a pantry, like, I can talk about food all day long. I can talk about why the food, how the food, eh, just any food. And so building a pantry, there's a lot of it that that's her realm. She didn't want to get on stage. That's what it was. She was supposed to be up on stage with me, and she was like, "No way, no how. I am not getting up in front of people." And so, like, I did a little bit of, covering kind of what she does, but then it was like, well, duh, I'm just as involved with the pantry stuff as she is. I can talk on this all day long. And so I only had like 2 pages of notes, and like, I talked and talked and talked. I finally looked up and saw the clock and was like, oh no, I have 10 minutes, 10 minutes to go.
Did
Uh, Maybe
you
I
do
better
a
take some
PowerPoint too?
questions. No, heck no.
Oh, you just talked.
Heck
Oh,
no, I'm a
okay.
Luddite.
Oh man.
Yeah, old
Well that
school.
well that's
I got
impressive
got a
then.
got a notepad.
Yeah.
So I actually had some pretty good questions in that 10 minutes. I ended up going over on my talk, which it ended up not being a big deal, but I would say that was the most engagement I got out of any of my talks was the food talk, talking about a pantry. Um, Talking about, critically thinking when it comes to your food and what to do if there's no power. How do you eat meat if there's no power? How do you preserve it? Stuff like that. And man, people were coming up afterwards asking me, like, I had never thought about that. I can't believe you've thought about stuff like that. It's like, man, you got to start thinking about this stuff. Like, don't take having refrigeration for granted. Like, figure out how our great grandparents did it. So,
Cool. That's good,
yeah,
man.
it was cool. It was a fun weekend. Uh, I will say, before we left, I was racing to get our roof on, get all the metal up. I did not make it. It was Wednesday afternoon, and I'm struggling to get, all the fiddly stuff. It was the gable. This this stupid gable above our front door kicked my butt, and trying to get it, flashed properly and get the ridge to terminate properly to where nothing's gonna leak. And I'm just that ate up so much time and probably I don't know, it was after lunch on Wednesday. I finally got it done and we started slapping the rest of the sheets up there. I did not get the roof finished. I actually counted wrong on my drip edge.
Mm.
And so I was 4 pieces shy on my drip edge. So if you've ever done a roof, you put your drip edge, then your roofing, and then your it's called the rake. That's the corner piece up on the angled end, and then you can put your ridge cap on. So I still don't have a ridge cap up there. I dealt with all of that today. That was Wednesday. We left Thursday. And so all weekend I've thought about it. It's like, man, as soon as we get back, I got to go buy the last couple pieces I need. Hopefully I can get them. Hopefully I don't have to order them and wait.
You just tarp it?
It didn't rain. I
You just
wasn't
left
worried
it?
about it. I
Oh,
just left it and it was fine. It didn't
yeah.
rain. So that was what I did today. I ran around all over God's green earth and picked up everything I need. And the place we get our roofing from is like an hour away.
Oof.
So it was just like hour up there. I was there probably about 45 minutes because they were busy dealing with other customers and had to go get my order. And man, it's just one of those days. Like I just spent all weekend in the car and then I just spent all day in the car running errands. And it's just like finally got home. It's like, man, I'm not gonna have time to do anything.
Trying to
So
get back into the routine, I guess.
yeah, I was afraid of that. Like leaving for the weekend, you know, like losing your momentum when you're on a project. That's the
Mhm.
worst feeling in the world. And kind of feel like I lost a little bit of momentum, but
Yeah,
that's all right. It's all right. We'll get back at it tomorrow.
that's good, man.
So that's about it for me. Al, what'd you get into this week?
Tearing out more flooring. We started tearing out the hardwood floor in the kitchen dining room area. We got that all tore out. I was gonna start taking out the subfloor too, but then I got to thinking, I'm like, oh, we got to take out the second floor, subfloor, and joist. And I'm like, you know what? It's probably gonna be easier to do that after. So I was gonna stop. I'm like, oh, it'll probably be easy to do that after. We'll redo the subfloor and the first floor, and then I can have like a nice smooth plywood floor to roll my baker staging on and everything. So we decided to tear out the rest of it, and we were hoping, we weren't sure if we had to take out the floor joist on the first floor or not. We could hope we could get away with it. Luckily, the floor joists were in pretty good shape, so we just put some new. We used the Georgia Pacific dry guard. It's kind of like an Avantech flooring. We put that all down, glued it down, screwed it down, and then we got to tear out the second floor. That was just weird. Like we have the first floor done, and then we took out the floor on the second floor and all the floor joists. So you're just kind of like looking up into 2 stories, but it's just one.
I bet that was weird. It's a
Everybody's like, "Oh,
super vaulted ceiling.
yes." Everybody's like, "Oh, it'd be so cool if you could keep that. Like it would be such a nice like dining room area." We're like, "Yeah, well, that's like our office. That's where we're gonna do all of our editing and all of the podcast stuff. Like we need that.
Yeah,
Mm.
need the room. Yeah.
We need the room." So yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of weird when you got all your floor up and you just have floor joists. It's like you're trying to figure stuff out, but you can't walk around. So like when we had the first floor out, it's down to the basement, 7 feet down below, and you're trying to bring plywood in and like measure everything. And um, yeah, working with an old house, we're trying to script. Working with an old house, you have they used boards on the floor joist. We're using square plywood, so you got to square everything up. We started it and to square it up with the other house, I had to, so the two houses meet kind of like this, and where they meet, I had on this wall, I had to notch in the plywood 2 inches to get it to fall on layout in the first room of the old house. And then by the time I got down to the far end of the wall of the other end of the house, we were 4 inches off. So
Jeez.
it's like 6 inches out of square in like 20 something feet. Hmm. I'm like, I get it, like all hand hewn beams and like so the second part, which is was another house supposedly that they tore apart somewhere. I think that was a hand hewn beam house, post and beam house too. And they took all the beams and they used those for like the main carrier beams and stuff. And a lot of like I think what it is they were hand hewn, they were green, and as they're drying, everything's just like drying and twisting and warping, and they reused them. So the house goes like this out and stuff like that. But I mean, it's an old house. You'll once it's all put back together, you'll never know it.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things. It's like, how fussy do you want to get? How fussy can you get? But
I imagine you can be pretty fussy, but how much time do you want to spend with everything
right,
torn apart?
exactly. It was interesting just to see how they built stuff back in the day. We got the second floor out and the beam. I wish I had a marble. So, because like the floor was like a dish, it went like this both ways. It was like a 2 inch dip both directions. Like, oh, she's like, oh, you should put a marble so you can show because on camera it doesn't show up. I'm like, oh, but we didn't have a marble or anything to roll. But I was like, that would have been kind of neat.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the upstairs floor joists were 2x8s. Um, for the main beam, they had three 2x8s screwed or nailed together. They weren't even screwed together. It was like 18 feet span, and that they didn't have a full 18-foot piece. So there was three like layers layered together, but they all had a joint, and they were just nailed in with spikes. So over time, they just they bowed like a banana. It's just like wow. I mean, it didn't go anywhere, but it just, and I'm sure that was probably all green lumber too. So it probably did it right from the beginning.
Big old saggy floor. 18 foot's
Yep.
a big span.
Yep.
You have a fireplace on that second floor?
No, we don't. There's one chimney in the house. In the basement is a wood stove. The first floor, there in the chimney, there's two like flue connections that they must that were behind the wall and that were plugged off. So I'm gonna say one was definitely probably a wood cook stove at one time, and the other one I don't know if it was just a wood stove, or if they had the wood cook stove in a different position at one point.
Hmm. It's always
But
wild. You go to an old house and there's like a fireplace on the second floor.
right, imagine having to bring up all your firewood every night to keep that fire going and wake up and
Keep from
Yeah.
freezing to death.
yeah. What else did they do? They had like those pans with the long handles on them, and they'd fill them with coals, and they'd stick them under the bed, and that's how they'd keep their bed warm.
So wouldn't they stick them under their covers with their feet?
I don't remember if they stuck them under the bed or under the covers. I couldn't imagine sticking that under the covers, but I mean,
I'm sure somebody will tell us in the comments or
right.
Yeah.
email.
But
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah. I just think everything got caught on fire back then. A candle.
candle, right? Candles, wood stoves, lanterns, gas lanterns.
Yeah. I would think everything would caught on fire.
You would think they were just smarter than us and paid more attention, I guess.
They
Yeah.
didn't have Instagram and Facebook to distract them.
Right.
Didn't have TikTok brain.
They had different priorities for sure. But
Yeah.
interesting to see like how the construction and like materials have changed over time. Like the stuff we have to use and to build with. We get like the new lag bolts that, all the new hand tools, and you get the dry guard OSB plywood that's flat. I mean, we're using even just KD lumber compared to rough sawn lumber is a huge difference. But I mean, nowadays you can get 2x4s, or you can get 2x6s that are all manufactured that are like OSB. So like everything's super straight, depending on how fussy you want to get. It's like we've come such a long way. Just even like in the last 10 years, it's changed so much.
Yeah.
Gluing the floors, like we glue all the subfloors down, so it's like that's a huge thing.
No more squeaking.
No more squeaking. But one of the things I found interesting is you put the subfloor down, it's strong and like it doesn't move, but you come back the next day once the glue's dried, and you can there's a noticeable difference of how much more like stiff the floors feel.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah, because everything just sets in place. I'm like, yeah, they probably would have died for this stuff back in the day.
Dude, I would have died for some of that stuff in the Airbnb we stayed at. It was this old restored house. There wasn't a quiet place to stand other than the fireplace hearth. Like, no sneaking in that house. Everything squeaked.
That's
You
funny.
you should
Probably
change
worse in
that.
the wintertime.
Yeah. You should change your YouTube channel to like 1800s channel, like
1800s.
period clothing in your old house. Living in acres.
It's gonna look brand new on the inside once we're done though.
Brand new. Oh,
Basically, I
yeah.
mean, Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
And it'll look like well, it's all vinyl sided on the outside. I don't know when they vinyled it, but it'll look older on the outside but new on the inside. So
That's good.
yeah, it'll be nice to have it all well insulated. I think this house will probably be, well, any house that we've had with a basement, this will be the best insulated house that we've had with a basement. Like the house we're in now, I mean, this is fully insulated and the concrete floors, insulated slab, and we got the radiant heat, so that's nice. But the first house we ever lived in, the first year we bought it, that was an 1800s house. Had no insulation in it, had an oil furnace, had a wood stove in it, but we couldn't use the wood stove because it only had one chimney with one flue in it. So the insurance company made us take the wood stove out. So we bought it in January, moved in. We couldn't get the house above 60 degrees. It was like 62, I think was the highest we could get the house.
Jeez.
And
Dang.
trying to think, that was back in,
In the winter?
yeah, that was in the wintertime. And this was
Yeah.
back in, what year was it? It was like '05 maybe. And oil prices were through the roof. So the furnace is just cranking, running 24/7, no insulation, the old
Wow.
windows. Yep. So that spring we put foam board on the outside, vinyl sided it, and then we just kind of like worked on it throughout. But I'm like, man. But
Heck.
that's how people lived back in the day. No insulation, just wood stoves everywhere.
Yep.
But
Throw on a beanie, throw on a coat, go to bed.
we got it so good and we don't even know it,
Yeah. They put the
Yep.
coals at their feet,
right?
right?
Yep.
Burning my
This
feet.
this house that we had, the first one we bought, had a cinder block foundation. We were told that um, had originally had no foundation. Somebody hand dug out and put a full foundation under this house at some point.
Dang.
Yep.
Hand after the house is built.
After the house was built, I'd say like the 1960s-ish, somebody put a foundation under it,
That's
and it was built
crazy.
in the 1800s.
I would
We
love to
found
see that.
we found pictures later on from neighbors and just talking to older people in the area. The house, which we didn't realize that the pot that we ended up making into the bathroom originally was an outhouse and it had like three toilet seats in it. It was all inside the house, but that they had dug out at one point. And that's like where their outhouses were, and it was like three toilet seats. So yeah, it's kind of fitting. We made that back into the bathroom.
Three toilet seats.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that so
man.
most houses up here that age, like the one we have now, a lot of it's hand hewn beams. For rafters, it's like logs. This one, because it was close to the Connecticut River, there must have been a sawmill right in the area. Everything was rough sawn lumber, which was very odd for that period back in the day.
You think that would have been like more high quality than the other ones?
I think that a lot easier to build.
Hmm.
Nothing was like 16 on center, nothing was 24 inches on center. So that was the first house we redid on our own, and that we spray foamed because it was like 28 inches on center here, 16, like 18 inches. It was all nice lumber, but it was just like random. It's like, I mean, back in the day, they didn't have to worry about, they just plastered and labbed everything. So I think the labs were just all different random lengths that didn't matter to them. But I'm like, how am I going to insulate this? Like, insulation won't fit in here.
So you're not doing any more spray foam?
Now at this house we got to finish spray foam in the downstairs in the basement.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We got to get the floors finished. We're gonna build some walls in the basement. I think we're gonna change some stairs around. Then we got a rough wire, do a little bit of rough plumbing, and then we can get the insulation back in and get that finished up.
Wow. Then after you get all the floors done and walls done, then it's what? Kitchen and
Yeah, rough wire and plumbing, and kitchen, bathroom. Yeah, and then it'll be sheetrock and
nice.
plastering, and we'll probably do some tongue and groove boards. Right now it's about the same price, which is kind of weird. It's like shiplap boards, it's like the same price as drywall. I don't know why pine lumber is
Hmm.
like, I don't want to say dirt cheap, but pine lumber pricing is down.
Wonder if last year's hurricane had anything to do with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it decimated our lumber prices.
Yeah, I
Like
was gonna say
overnight, a load of, who was that telling me? I think it was one of my friend Bill. I think that's who it was. I don't remember, but you could get around $15,000 a load for mixed hardwoods and pine, and it went down to around 1,200 bucks a load
Oh,
right when the hurricane happened. So, I mean, at that price, yeah, the market was probably a little saturated.
yeah. I know up here, pine logs used to bring in good money. They're not worth like the pine logs are like they're giving them away, and I don't know why, but they used to our other house that we had logged. We had what did we have? Like 3 acres, 4 acres logged, and that was all old pasture, and so they call it pasture pines that regrow, and that ended up paying to have all that paid for the logger to log everything, and it paid him to clear the land and stump it and everything. And like nowadays, they're like, yeah, like you wouldn't have made even enough money to have the logger come in and log it. So I don't know what caused that because pine logs used to be worth good money. Then I've been trying to get outside and planning the farm layout as much as I can. And that's kind of like we had planned on being over there by now. So it's kind of like hard, like, man, we just want to be living here now, having the animals over here. But so it's like when I have a chance, I'll get over there. I'll get out, I should say, and figure out the pasture fences. Trying to figure out exactly where we want to put our apple orchard, where we want to put the blueberry plants and stuff like that. So we've changed up the fence lines a little bit. We're gonna fence in one pasture that will most likely run like the meat birds on. We weren't gonna fence it in originally, but I'm like, be nice to have that fenced in with livestock fence so I can let Brutus out there 24/7. So he'll like we're gonna like have the cow pasture connected to where we'll keep the chickens, and then we can just divide it with electric fence on the inside.
That would be cool.
Figure that way Brutus can stay out, he can protect everybody overnight and stuff like that. We won't have to worry about predators coming in.
You
So
think
then
you'd get another dog for him? Don't you have
mm,
another dog or no?
we have indoor
Oh,
dogs.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have one that's like 14 or yeah, 14, and then the other one's probably like 8 or 9.
And they get along with him?
They don't go out, they don't really see each
Oh,
other.
they
So
don't
the
really?
older dog,
Oh,
she would
okay.
like to play with him, but Brutus is too rough.
Oh,
He
okay.
just, she's 14. She's pretty fragile. Our other dog, Tanner, he's the smaller one. If he eats, like, he's eats anything he can see. So he's outside eating like manure and poop, but he gets belly aches. So we can't let him out because he just goes out and he eats the stuff. And then he's got, he must have stomach issues. So it's like,
Must be really good.
And goes
yeah,
out and eats it and then comes inside and up chucks it on your rug.
upchucks it, poops it.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
yeah, no,
He's like, this was so worth it.
yeah. It's like, nope. Fortunately, you don't get to go out and run around. It's
Maybe he needs some minerals.
yeah.
There you
And
go.
I think some of the purebreds they've just kind of bred too close.
Yep.
But you're better off with some kind of mutt.
So you think you would get another dog for him, for Brutus?
Um,
With Brutus or no?
Possibly. I think so. Brutus, the older, what is he? Is he going on two? He'll be going on 2 now. The older he gets, the better. The more mellow he gets, and the more disciplined, and the better listening he is. So it's kind of cool. Like so, before we were with him for the first year, like we were with him. I don't want to say 24/7, but all day long he was out with us as we were building the barns and down in the workshop. And then he was with the cows and all the animals at night. Right now, he's with us a decent amount, but not as much. He's with the livestock the majority of the time. But it's kind of cool because he's super friendly with us, but he's less dependent on us, and he's more of like the guardian livestock. You can kind of like see it coming out on him. But it was nice to have the time one-on-one more to get like the friendship part with him because we don't want a guardian livestock dog that is mean or to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a stranger, if somebody comes on the property, we want them to bark or whatever, be protective that way. But we want them
Right.
to be friendly to us and everybody else. So it's kind of neat to see that. Like
Yeah.
right now, he'll go outside during the day and you just see him. He lies down and he takes his guard post and just kind of like watches over the homestead. When we're out doing chores, he's out, but he takes off, but he knows his perimeter. Like he doesn't like we have like 500 acres here and he doesn't run all over it. Like he'll stay. There's woods everywhere. So he just kind of like stays in the pasture area, goes into the woods a little bit, and then just like does his loops and his perimeter and just guards everything. And then he'll come back, which is kind of cool to see.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
making his rounds.
Yep.
That's cool. That's neat. Yeah.
So you think you're gonna get a live guardian livestock dog for the sheep at some point, or
I
does
don't
Mike
know.
have one?
Yeah, he has two.
He has two.
Yeah, he has two. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe at one point, at some point, probably, but I don't know. I guess I just don't want to take the time to train them. I
Yep.
feel like I'm gonna have to train him, and like, if someone could just train him and bring him here, and then have him already like, oh, he's already good. Maybe something like that would probably be better. I don't know. I guess it's another mouth to feed too, and I don't know. I don't know. I think if we're having like super predator issues, like a bunch of predator issues, and we're just losing animals left and right, then yeah, for sure, I'm
Right.
probably gonna need one. But if we're not losing any animals or anything,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we will get one, but yeah, I don't know. I, I don't know what will drive us over the edge of getting one, but I think probably eventually. Yeah, we'll see.
I think a lot of it has to do with finding the right breeder for the
Right.
dog that has a good dog and that they're raised by the mother and the father for a little while kind of thing. Like Brutus, he was raised in a barn by his parents. He wasn't like in the house. It wasn't like a breeder that just bred dogs to sell dogs. Like this was, we got ours from a farm. So they were out in the barn, raised in the
Hmm.
barn kind of thing. You know, they knew the people, but they also were with the parents and around cows. So I think that's kind of a makes a difference too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I like they seem like I would have to train them and like always be with them, or I don't know. I feel like I just don't have time to be there to do that. Maybe
We
I'm
really
wrong,
wanted
but
to get one. Premier one,
Mhm.
they sell them. They have a farm and they raise and sell. There's a bunch of different breeds, and there's a kind of like the same way. But when they had a litter, it was a weird time and it didn't work for us.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's been pretty much my week.
Cool.
How the
How
turkeys
so?
doing? They must be getting big and eating a lot.
The turkeys, yeah, they're getting big. They're definitely eating a lot. Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
You have
Uh,
to buy more grain?
no, not yet.
Not yet. Do you think you'll
No.
have to before the growing season's over with?
I think we're about halfway done with 1,000 pounds.
Okay.
So I bet you I'm gonna have to buy some. Yeah. We'll probably butcher the first batch, I'm gonna guess in maybe 2 weeks,
Okay.
and then we'll probably butcher the last of it November, maybe beginning of November.
Yeah. How much feed are you going through a day right now? Any idea?
Oh, I don't know. I could probably a 5 gallon bucket,
That's
Yeah.
25 pounds.
probably around there.
Turkeys eat a ton when they
I
get,
do.
I almost feel like it's like once they get a like very just interested and they see one of them just eating, the other ones just start eating, and it's like they can't stop. They just keep going. Like it's
yeah.
so entertaining to them to eat it that maybe they're not even hungry. They're just like keep going. Oh, this is cool. Like we're eating. The next thing you know, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it. Turkeys are so dumb, but they are so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll do that on an ant hill. Like they'll eat the ants coming out of the hole. But I feel
Yeah,
like that's how I feel like they're doing that. Like they think it's so entertaining that they're like they can't stop because it's so entertaining to them to eat these ants coming out.
yeah. Have you ever seen when they're standing in the anthill eating the ants, and then about the time their legs are covered in ants, the ants start biting them. They start jumping around because they can't get away from
They're
them
like,
now.
wait,
They're like,
yeah,
wait, and then they'll start looking at their legs, pecking the ants off their legs. I've watched turkeys do that. It's kind of funny.
That is funny.
yeah. I still been putting them away at night. I still don't feel comfortable leaving them out, but yeah, I just put them away at night, and I think they like when I put them away. Like,
You give them a
oh,
night snack.
yeah, like oh, he's gonna put us away tonight. Like, oh, he's chasing me, and really, they just they just go in there automatically. It's kind of
Now,
funny.
are you sold out of turkeys yet? You still got some for pre-sale?
We haven't started pre-sales yet at
You haven't
all.
started yet.
No, which I need to do that soon. I just haven't done it, but yeah, I've already had a couple of people ask me about it, so I should do that in the next week or two. Yeah,
How's the hot sauce coming?
That's going good too. Yeah, we're still making some. So my plan is to have at least I should have at least 200 by November. Chilies are still producing.
Perfect.
But yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to ramp up our because we're not doing workshops, this hands-on workshops this winter. So I'm trying to like get some more stuff online that we could sell and ship. More hats, beanies, or toboggans, excuse me. Uh stuff like that. So I've been trying to think about things to sell on the website this year, more so than usual.
You have to do a solar land calendar for Christmas time.
Yeah, me feeding the animals in my mini truck waving. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to this podcast and watching. We really appreciate it. And yeah, our t-shirts are out there in the wild. Ben has confirmed it.
Right.
So thank you for that. And we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully everyone has an awesome week.
Have a good week.
Later, everybody.